right. Hey, y'all. What's up? It's your girl, Malika, back again with another episode of From the Block podcast. Okay, so look, check this out, y'all. Music, right? No matter the genre, is connected to culture. It's a gateway to understanding how a lot of us feel on the inside. So, look, I don't know about y'all, but there's nothing like hearing a song that connects with what you're going through. So, as I've stated before, community, conversation, and culture are like the three main pillars of this show. So, of course, it was a no-brainer to incorporate, more group discussions based on, how we feel, and most importantly, based on what we're listening to. So today's topic discussion is everyday struggles. We're gonna be open, raw, and honest. What do you do when life is lifing? So look, I was listening to Thames track Free Mind and Mary J. Blige My Life and like a few other tracks, which is on a playlist that, I'm gonna like drop on the, Instagram page at From the Block Podcast. And it just had me thinking like, damn, like life really do be lifing. And most importantly, right, how do you deal with that? So when you feel overwhelmed, when you try to come up with solutions and those solutions aren't working, what's next? So the opening question, one by one, how's life been? Okay, Jazz, you go first.
Hard.
Yeah.
I mean, fun, but like, I'm just vibing.
Yeah. What about you?
I would say the same. I think it's been difficult. I think it's challenged me. Life right now is challenging me. But I think it'll be worth it. But
Amen.
yeah.
What about you, James?
Honestly, I would agree with the women as well. I feel like it's also challenging because, we're going to go through like ups and downs and it's just going to keep going on the...
True. Yeah, this, I'm trying not to cuss. I mean, y'all can cuss, but that's like my little goal. Like, I don't want to be cussing anymore. Yeah, it's hard. Like, I feel like similar to what you said, Jazz. When Lil Wayne was like, life is a beach and I'm just playing in the sand. Like, that's what it feels like. Like, it's like a lot going on, but I just feel like, I remember Burna Boy, one of his songs, he was like, I can't come and kill myself. Like, I just feel like it's a lot, but I think you just gotta be vibing low key. Cause if you don't, that's really like go like push you through the edge. But let me ask y'all this. So, we in December, it's holiday season. Does it kind of make you feel some type of way when it's the holiday season and you're supposed to be in like a real upbeat mood, but you're just not feeling like that?
I mean, for me, the holidays just be another day. Like, I can be festive, I'll put on a Christmas sweater, but ain't nothing really changed. Like, I still gotta work. Everything's still operating. When I was in school, it was different because, like, I would get time off and all of that. I still gotta work. So it's just a regular day. I get a day off, and then it's back in motion, so...
So, but I'm saying, does that make you feel some type of way? Like, do you wish that you were just more, like, in tune with just, like, the season and being, like, all joyful and da-da-da-da? Or you just, like, don't care? Like, it's just, like, whatever?
I don't really care.
Why?
I mean, for me, like, I'm going to have fun regardless. Like, I'm still going to have, like, a Christmas movie night and all of that. But, I mean, like, I just feel like it changes as you become an adult. I feel like when I have kids, it'll be different. Like, I'll have another, like, resurgence of joy. But, like, now I don't really care. Like, not in a bad way. It's another day.
I feel like I try to keep festive, even if not if I don't feel that way. But I'm a really big holiday person anyway. So I feel like because I feel like there's something that's so like nostalgic about the holidays. And I feel like even if you are like going through a tough time and you just moving through day to day, like it feels better. It just, it's like another just small moment of joy. And I just feel like, why not? Especially as hard as everything is anyway. So I take the opportunity, I feel like, to be festive anyway. So yeah, I don't think I feel a way necessarily, because I do try to lean into that for the holidays. So yeah.
Okay. What about you, James?
For me, I mean, holidays about traditions, and you always have to keep those type of traditions. And like what she says, like it's a nostalgical feeling, and you gotta always remind yourself why you like this time of the year. Even though every day is just like you going to work, you going to school, you taking care of business, you still gotta also remember like the good times, why it lasts, because future gonna keep going, and you don't know where you're gonna be at.
Okay. So, look, before we get too deep in this convo, right? Just like out of curiosity, in your adolescent years, was the topic of mental health like just really praised and talked about in your household, or was it something that was just kind of just brushed off and looked down upon?
I would say that it was something that was, I don't know if I would say that it was brushed off. I would just say it wasn't talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think, at that age that I really had the words to articulate what my mental health space was like. And so I wasn't able to articulate it. So there was nobody that necessarily brushed it off, but I don't think that it was talked about. Or I think that if, you were wanting to talk about that, it was just seen as, I do think it was more like, you tough it out. You get over it. This is life. I don't know that, at least for me and my household, that we had those discussions always about mental health, but I don't really think it was that for at least my parents. I know when they were being raised, that wasn't important. Like it wasn't a thing for them either. So I just feel like it wasn't talked about. It wasn't discussed. And so everybody just kind of moved around the house as so, what, no matter what you felt or what you were going through, you just kept moving.
What about you, Jazz?
I agree wholeheartedly. I don't think it was brushed. We just never talked about it. Like when I was younger, it was never like a thing for me because I was vibing. Like I didn't know any better. It wasn't until I got older when I realized people do struggle with mental health and it should be talked about. But like when I was younger, like I was just having fun. And I mean, as I get older, like my family is more open to it and like addressing it, but it wasn't like brushed under the rug because like I never went to my parents and said, "Oh, I'm dealing with this." So they never was like, "Oh, you need to get off that phone." Like it was never nothing like that. I just never went to them and talked about it because I didn't deal with that. But then as I get older, like they're definitely receptive. I mean, they're a little old school, so it's still kind of like, eat your vegetables, you'll be happier. But like they're still like, I mean, they're learning, but they're like open to it. They're not like, "Nah, that's not real." They're like, "It is real," and I'm glad you trust me enough to talk to me about it. So.
Okay.
Honestly, for me, coming from a African household, we tend to, like she said, they tend to like just ignore that whole type of phase in their life because it's like you're a kid. What do you know about having feelings when it comes to them? But at the same time, we also gone through like stuff like childhood trauma and stuff that not only happens at school, also happens at home. And it's like they don't realize it because it's just something that, as Africans, we have to be like tough people, like even black people in general, we have to be like tough. We're perceived as like superior in a way. So honestly, it's something that was like not touched on, but as you start to get older to adult age and then you start to talk to your parents about it, because nowadays even me, I talk to my parents about like like issues I go through, and they listen, they understand. So it's all about the growth that you go through. So yeah.
So making that transition from not really coming from an environment where it was talked about openly to now being adults and being more in tune with your feelings, was that transition, was it an easy transition, or was that kind of like a hard transition because it wasn't really like talked about like that in y'all's environment growing up?
I think it was a hard transition. I think for me, mental health really didn't come to a head till I was leaving high school, entering college.
Mm-hmm.
So, and in those like 2020, 2021 years, it hit me so hard. And I think that a little bit I was kind of unprepared as to how I was supposed to handle it because, again, it wasn't talked about. And I feel like I didn't really know, again, how to articulate what my mental and emotional space was like. I just knew that it was not good. But I think for everybody that it wasn't good. And I think that it was such a time where there was so much happening that it felt like it was an easier time to talk about it because I felt like so many people were going through so many things at that time. So, okay, we can talk about it. You know, we can open up and have that conversation. And you get it. You know, it's not like you don't feel like you're coming into a conversation and, oh, they don't get it. They don't understand. No, I generally felt like everybody in that time was going through it, whether it was Corona, whether it was school, whether it was family, whether it was personal. It was a lot. And so I do think that transition was hard, but it was made easier because I think everybody was having a hard time during those few years. So.
Okay. So, all right, check this out. Transparency time. So, do y'all sometimes feel some type of way when y'all see other people on social media? And by seeing other people on social media, I don't mean that in a materialistic context, but more on just, you know, people posting like their holiday pictures. You know, you see like their little funny videos that they post and they're smiling. And does that sometimes go through your head like, I want to feel that, but I don't feel that right now, if that makes sense?
I think
Personally,
so. No, that was it.
Personally, not really, because I mean, at the end of the day, people have the choice to live their own life, and at the end of the day, you shouldn't always compare your life to somebody else's life because you don't know what the circumstances may be. You may be going through some things at that moment that you can't like be in a happy state of mind. So it's not like something I would really be upset about. I'd be happy for them. I'd be rooting for them because you know they having fun, they're enjoying. So yeah.
I would say I have had those moments definitely where I'm looking at somebody and I'm like, dang, they real heavy all the time.
I would be honest.
Like, cause you know, sometimes it's nice to see other people happy, but sometimes when you're not in that space, it's like you want to have that moment too. Not necessarily that you want what they have, but you just want that happiness in that moment, and that just is not where you are. So I don't think it makes me mad. No, I am definitely still happy for whomever. But sometimes it is irritating to my spirit because I'm just like, I want to be feeling the same way, posting the same happiness, and you're just not in that space. So, yeah.
I definitely agree. Like, I be having to remind myself social media is not real because even like when me and my friends were younger, like we would always like post us going out and stuff, and people would be like, "Oh my God, y'all be looking like y'all have so much fun." Whole time we not even having fun. We go back to the apartment and be like, "That was so lame."
Yeah.
And I be reminding myself like, people only post what they want you to see. So like, yeah, they might be in Turks and Caicos, but they car getting repoed. Like you just never know. So I be a little salty, mainly with people traveling, because I be like, dang, I want to travel, but I gotta work. I ain't got no more PTO, or I gotta make my money. But I'm just like, you don't really know the circumstances, and it's not good to like, you know, be a hater or nothing. Like just wait for yours. But I mean, it'll make you feel some type of way if you just like, dang, I ain't been on a vacation in like 6 months. And this girl always out the country. But then again.
And I'm glad that y'all are being honest because I feel like we throw the word like hater and envy around so loosely. I mean, granted, those are real terms and there are people that have those like negative emotions. I think it's really healthy and I think it's really transparent to say, oh yeah, like I do wish I was in that, you know, environment. Like I do wish I, you know, felt, I wish like my feelings were more different. And I feel like if more people were more self-aware, I think the world would be a much better place. That's just my personal opinion. So also too, like, it's kind of like flipping that. I don't know if like y'all are like me, tell me if I'm tripping or not. I think the most annoying individuals on planet Earth are the fake positive people. You know the folks that's like, "Hey king, hey queen, what's going on?"
Grand
Rising.
Yeah,
Grand Rising.
everybody. How everybody doing? Peace and love. I'm amazing. I'm always happy. I think no, seriously, those are the most, I think, wicked individuals because they oftentimes not only they're hiding something, but they're just really irritating to be around.
I see it both ways. Like I feel like they're trying to maintain the positivity.
No, I only see it one way. I'm just be honest.
Because you just feel like it's not real.
It's not real.
Yeah.
But maybe they really are just
No.
that happy. I
And
mean,
some
don't think
people
so.
really feel that way.
some people really do. They wake up and they're like, "Whew, at least I woke up." For me, I'm like, "Wow, another day."
Yeah.
Gotta wake up and get this bread. But like, I do appreciate like genuine emotions. Like, if you're not happy today, you don't gotta be happy today. But like, some people really do just wake up and be on 10 every day. Good for them. I mean, I don't necessarily want to be around that person.
Nah,
Right.
and that's not to say like, oh, like, cause there are people with like I said, with envious spirits, like they're just really mean spirited. No, don't be around them. But I'm talking about every single time I see you, you just always so happy. It's always like, hey,
Maybe
King,
it's
how
up
you
for
doing?
them.
Right? They just happy.
No,
Yeah.
I think
Maybe
it's
it's
so
love
great.
life.
You don't know what they be going through.
They might be on drugs.
Hey, that could be.
That'll do it. Every time.
No, seriously. But yeah, I don't like being around people like that. I like the real folks that's like, hey, you know, like I'm cool, you know. I'm not the best, I'm not the worst, but like, you know, I'm cool. That's what I like. But I mean, if y'all like to be around them folks, I guess to each his
No,
own.
I don't.
I think it's hard to be around them
I
24/7.
think I can handle being around a nonchalant person than someone who's on that.
Yeah, me too. Like that's what I'm talking about. Okay, maybe just like articulate it better. But like if you more like nonchalant, like I could rock with that. Like that's cool. But all that like, hey, da, 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 no, that's fake. No, that's fake. So like I said earlier, right? Music connects to how we are feeling. So are y'all mindful with what you decide to listen to? And like I'm gonna say like for context, like why I asked that question, because I saw this tweet and somebody was like, I realized I was mentally unwell when like I would be sad and I would listen to more sad music to make me even more sad. So like, are y'all like, wait, do y'all do that?
Absolutely.
No.
You do? Why?
Because I'm like, if I'm going to be sad,
No.
let's set the mood.
Of course.
Let's make the whole.
You
let
don't
me get
do
some
that?
Wine.
No,
I don't think
Let me
you
play
should.
some sad music.
I'm not listening to no
and
happy
just
music
vibe.
and I'm sad.
Right? It's not going to make me
It's
happy.
nothing right.
I might as well just be in my feelings, feel that way, and then get out of it.
Yeah.
But you know, there's like motivational sad music.
No, I don't
That
want to
don't
be
be done
motivated.
for me. I
I
don't
don't
wanna
want
be
to
sad.
Start
right.
listening to that. I don't think you should, because that's just gonna put you in an even more like bad state.
Sometimes I feel like it helps you process through the emotion.
Especially if they're going through what I'm going through. I'm like, at least I'm not the only one who feels this way. Like, that's real. She talking for real. Or he.
You like that too?
Personally, I mean, I can listen to like some heartbreak songs every once in a while, but I'm not gonna sit here and listen to it throughout the whole day because why am I being sad about? There's more to live.
Yeah, I don't. Because, like I said, I feel like there are levels to sad music. Like, you have heartbreak songs. You have, like, the motivational sad songs. Like, for example, like, My Life, Mary J. Blige, Thames, Free Mind, Anxiety, you know, Megan Thee Stallion. Like, that's cool. But I'm talking about the real sad songs. Like, the shit that, like, Juice WRLD be putting out, like, Rod Wave and stuff.
Now I don't listen to that all day.
Okay, that's what I was
That's
kind of, like, referring
seriously like
Because I don't do that. I
That'll
mean, if you do that,
change
that's
my
fine. But, like, me
mood.
Are you
personally.
referring to synth music?
That's what it's called?
Synth music?
Oh, okay. I didn't even know that's what it's called. Yeah, I guess so.
I wasn't even thinking of like a Juice WRLD Rod Wave. I was just thinking of
Right.
like some R&B, maybe like some Cali U Kiss.
Okay, no, I wasn't referring to
You
that.
know, like
okay. If
some
you
Summer
meant like
Walker.
that, then
I mean,
yeah.
like the real, like, sad.
No. I mean, I don't even really.
Like the old school, the one our parents used to listen to type of R&B.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But me,
Yeah,
I was
but, like,
referring to more
Juice
like the
WRLD
new
kinda
school
stuff?
type
Yeah.
stuff.
Because that'll really make me sad. Like, that'll put you in a different mind state.
That's what makes me
Like, you alone, stranded on an island, and I'm just sad. Like, I don't want to be there. But other stuff, yeah, just regular, like some slow R&B. Yeah, because, you know, you feel that. But
It don't even always got to be sad. Sometimes it's just low tempo. Like, it don't really have to be saying sad words. Sometimes I'm just like, okay, I just want to vibe right now. I'm sad. Let me just listen to something that fits the mood. But it don't got to say sad words. It just got to be a vibe.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Okay, I do the same. Do you do that too?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, yeah, I do that too. And also too, another unpopular opinion, that's just my, I'm even with like rap music too. Like I used to think, right, okay, I'm vibing to like this particular artist. They saying like some like real like hard shit. But then they have me thinking like, yo, should I really be listening to this for real? For real? I'm talking about like really, really listening. By the way, I saw your Spotify rap thing, so I that's why you keep it quiet.
Ghetto mess.
But I just feel like you know how we just talking about like just like vibing and really like listen to the lyrics. I feel like you can't do that with certain hip hop tracks though, because I feel like that's just gonna put you in a bad headspace. Certain hip hop tracks, not all hip hop tracks. I have to clarify.
Can I
will
get,
say,
what,
like-
what songs are you referring to?
She said, you know.
I just say like, and I wholeheartedly agree, because like when I'm driving, you know how like if somebody cuts you off and
It
you
makes you
listening
angry.
to hip hop music
Exactly.
in your head, you just like, well, no, maybe not your head. In my head, I'm like, yeah, I'm finna follow them. Like just crazy stuff, because I'm already listening to some music, some bang bang, shoot 'em up. So now I'm like,
Exactly.
am I a thug? But then I'm like, no, I'm not. And then I turn on Beyonce.
Exactly. So
Because I
imagine
shouldn't
imagine
even
you
be-
like vibing out to like J. Cole, right? Let me think of a J. Cole song. Nobody's Perfect. That track with Missy Elliott, and somebody cuts you off. Maybe 9 times out of 10 you're gonna be like, man, like fuck it.
Yeah,
Okay.
whatever.
Nah, I want you to play in your car Young Nudy and 21 Savage. What's that song? I'm from the 5, middle fingers
EA.
on 6. Yeah, that one. Play that on full blast and let somebody cut you off. What's your emotion gonna be
I
like?
can agree.
Man, fuck that nigga. What the fuck? I'm gonna exactly.
Really cursing through the.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, I just feel like those particular tracks be in like a certain environment. But I don't think you should be like vibing out to them tracks.
Like if you already angry, maybe don't put on like hip hop music, because then you just gonna be on 10.
Certain hip hop songs, not like all hip hop
Certain.
songs. Yeah,
I
certain
mean,
hip-hop
Or
songs.
certain artists.
I know how
True.
music be like affecting your emotions, but sometimes I can be listening to R&B and somebody cut me off, and I'm still going to curse them out.
That's
Well,
true.
that's
just
just going
me.
through something. You're just going through something. Because even like pulling up in here, like I was playing like Summer Walker. I was so excited. Typically when I come in here, I always complain. But then I had to think, right, what am I listening to? He said, okay, anyway. What am I listening to on the drive here? So I'm like, maybe if I like switch up my playlist, right, maybe that's going to like lighten up my mood. So I was playing like Summer Walker, Ting. I was playing Brent Fayez. And I was so excited pulling up to the studio today. That's why when they asked me how you doing, I'm like, I'm alive. I'm here. And I think it makes a difference though, for real.
I do.
I think so. It's just like anything else, like just everything in moderation. You know, whether it's what you take in TV-wise, it's the same thing with music. But I definitely think, you know, it can affect your mood.
No, yeah, for sure. I like what you said too, because okay, tell me if I'm crazy. Y'all probably are, but I don't care. This is my personal opinion. I'm actually really mindful with what I like watch as well
I am too.
on TV, like on movies, because I have a theory. I think what we watch affects us in the same way with like what we listen to as well.
I think so.
Because let me tell y'all something. The first time that I watched The Wire, like the first 2 seasons, I was sad for like a whole week. I'm so for real. I was
you
sad
get
for like a
so
whole week.
into it.
Or like if I watch Power, I'll be motivated for like 2 weeks straight. I'll be like, I can do anything I put my mind to, for real.
Nah, that's
So-
what does it.
So that's why I have a theory. But like, do y'all agree or do you think like that shit don't matter? It's either in you or not.
It definitely matters.
It definitely
matters.
correlates.
I'm not like I don't like think about something before I watch it. It matters, but
Yeah.
I watch anything. Like I be watching Bad Girls Club and stuff, and I'm sure like in my head that's why I be more aggressive, and I'm like, oh, like yeah, I can fight her. I don't care. But like it matters.
No, it do be
But it
giving
just
you
be
confidence,
good.
though.
It be good.
It be amping you up. I think just sometimes, like with what I watch, even like I like horror films, but it's just some horror films I will not watch. Like whether it's just like the gore or certain things that they say, I don't want to watch it. You know, certain stuff, that devil stuff, I'm not watching it. Because, you know, I just feel like you got to watch what you allow in your energy and in your spirit, because you can take that on.
No, I definitely
and I
agree.
don't want to.
I have a story about that, but I'll tell y'all off camera. It's not gonna be on camera. I feel like people ain't ready for that. But there's a reason why I don't watch horror movies, because I saw something when I was 14 years old. But like I said, just remind me, because I know I'm gonna forget, but I'm gonna tell you the story. I'm gonna tell y'all the story off camera. Okay, so how many of y'all believe in the keeping busy myth? So like, let's say you're going through something, right? And you're just like, I'm gonna keep busy. So I'm gonna go shopping. I'm gonna change my hair. I'm gonna, do this. So therefore I don't have to think about it. And therefore, like, I'll feel better. Do y'all believe in that, or do y'all think that's a myth?
I definitely agree. It's not good to dwell on something, especially if you're upset about it. Because if you dwell on something, then you're going to be unproductive, and then you're just going to be in your mood all day.
I would agree too. I think keeping busy is, a temporary thing. Like sometimes I gotta push through my day. So this may not be the moment for me to sit in my feelings. So yes, I'm going to keep busy. But when the day is done, then I may have a moment or time where I can decompress, because I feel like that's still important. I don't think keeping busy should be like the goal throughout the entire time. Like, oh, I'm just going to keep busy and I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep, because you just building up stuff that you haven't really addressed. But, I think for a moment, keeping busy, I don't think that's a problem. As long as you go back and address whatever it was that you were feeling that's got you keeping busy.
I agree. I don't think keeping busy should be like your sole coping mechanism, like for whatever you're going through. But I mean, like for me, when I'm stressed, like I just want to have fun, so I gotta be going out and stuff like that. But then, like, kind of how she mentioned, you still gotta go home and like be alone with your feelings, like not like waste your life and dwell on it, because it already happened. Whatever it is, you can't necessarily change it, but you still have to like accept those feelings and get comfortable with them. But I mean, life keeps going, so you do gotta do what you gotta do.
I like y'all's opinions. I disagree with all three of y'all, though. I think that it's a myth. Yeah, I know. I think it's a myth. I think even the concept of being busy, because you know how people say busy is good? I don't think so. I think in this world, you should have something going on, but it shouldn't be to the point where you're not only neglecting yourself, you're neglecting your loved ones. You're not in tune with what the world really has to offer. And when I say world, like, even just being in touch with like nature, even viewing like a butterfly passing by you or a tree, just being in touch with the stillness of the world, that's hard if you're constantly always busy, because you're missing out on so much. You're missing out on balance. I think when you're going through something, I think the worst thing that you can do is being busy, because you don't get the opportunity to really sit down and process, and most importantly heal with what you're going through.
But do you not feel like you can come back to it?
Because you can come back to it, but it's going to hurt even more, because it just keeps on piling up. That's why I feel like during the pandemic, so one of the reasons why people were going so crazy was because that was one of the first times in their lives where they actually had to like sit down with their emotions, because there was nothing to do. So I think that when you're going through something, it's really important to address it head on and not just have the myth of just always being busy, because you're going to have to deal with it later. And instead of dealing with it later, just deal with it now. That's my personal opinion.
But I do feel like there's different levels of busy, like not, coming up with like stuff to do and like, oh, I can't be home, da 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 da. But like still taking care of your responsibilities. Like let's say you sitting at home and you sad and it's like, oh, I could go to the gym. Like I need to. That's the thing that I do. You can go to the gym. And then you got other errands to run. Like you got to do your laundry or whatever. Stuff like that. Like you're not sitting and dwelling. Like you're not too busy to talk to your family or whatever the case may be. But you're staying busy. Like you're doing stuff. You're taking care of your responsibilities. Like you got to walk your dog. You ain't walked your dog in a minute. Like it's different levels to busy. Not like going out, you partied all night, you come home, you don't want to be at home, so you go out again. Like that's a little different. That's like you running from your problems. But you can like process and heal while also being busy. Like if you had a hobby that you used to love and you don't do it no more, you can pick that hobby back up, like yoga or whatever the case may be. Like implementing like different parts into your life to like be busy, but not like, overcompensate or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with you. I think taking care of your responsibilities is different than being busy. That's my other unpopular opinion. Y'all might agree or disagree, don't know. But yeah, like, okay, so taking care of your responsibilities, like, okay, going to the gym, paying your bills, taking care of your kids, walking your dog or whatever, that's what you're supposed to do. Like, that's just something, like, that's just what you're supposed to do. But I'm referring more to like the extra stuff of, I'm about to go buy this. I'm about to go, change my hair multiple times. I'm about to go take this trip. I'm about to go, you're doing all this extra stuff while neglecting, internally what's going on. Like, the extra stuff, is it really necessary? Like, is it really necessary? It's not. So if it's not necessary, why are you doing it instead of dealing with your problems? That's what I was more referring to. But your actual responsibilities, like stuff that you like literally have to do every day, that's different. You got to do that. That's, yeah.
I think people's thinking process are different. Like, I definitely agree with you with they need to like not do all the extra shit to like deal with what they're dealing with. But then again, it's like that's how they best deal with, because you don't know what people be going through. They can go through a breakup or like a death, and they don't want to be thinking about that person, because every time they would sit and think about that person, they would start to dwell in that like emotion. But I do agree. I mean, sometimes for other people, like doing those extra shit like helps them, but it's not usually necessary.
Yeah, it's not. That's what I'm saying, because like what you said was right, but what I'm saying, right, instead of just waiting to deal with it, just do it right now, because I feel like the longer that you wait, the worse that is going to be, if that makes sense. That's just my personal.
I be thinking, like, if it's going to take time anyway for me to get through it and heal through it, then it'll
Yeah,
be
it's gonna
okay.
take time.
And it's
No, but like, just start now. Why would you wait? Just do it now.
sometimes you don't want to. You know, sometimes that's the truth. Like, whatever it is, you don't even want to sit with it yet. And so I need a moment. But once I'm ready to sit with it, then I'll sit in that feeling. But sometimes you don't want to. And I know sometimes that if I sit in a certain feeling, it will pour out into, my friendships or my work for the day or the responsibilities that I have. And sometimes you just can't have that. So sometimes I do just have to wait and I can think about it later, or even if I want to take a small moment and be like, okay, I'm going to sit in it for a moment, I can, or I could just wait and I could just come back to it when I'm ready to. Because I feel like sometimes you can sit in a feeling, and if I'm not really ready to process through it, I'm wasting my time sitting there. I'm wasting my time, and I might as well just keep going. There's not going to be real resolve just yet until I'm ready. Do you get that?
I get it. I agree, though. Like, okay, I feel like we're all kind of like saying the same thing low key, just in different forms.
Maybe.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, wait, so tell me if I'm crazy, because I actually stopped doing this last year. I don't know. It just made sense to me, but something that I learned a year ago, that's important that once you go through trauma and you heal, you can't go back to that trauma. And what I mean, right? So what I used to do, I used to think that in order to prove to myself that I healed, I would like replay that scenario again in my head. Or if a certain individual hurt me, I would go like up to that person and act like nothing happened, to like prove to myself, like, I told you I'm over it, like it's nothing. But then I kind of realized that doesn't make sense. So why are you doing that? But I don't know, have y'all like done that before, just to kind of like prove to yourself, like, I told you I'm good, like it's okay?
Once you wrong me, I forgive you, but that's it. We done.
Yeah. Wait.
That's deep. I say it's like a scar. Once you open that scar, it's like it's still going to be a scar. It can be reopened. So whatever you go through later on in life, that scar is going to still be there, and it can always be open. So that's why I feel like any problem you go through in life, yeah, you will learn how to pass through it, get through it, but it's not going to be something that you forget because it's like now a part of your life. Like you remember things from a while back ago because that's part of your life. Yeah.
I think low key you can't forget though. Low key, have y'all heard about like selective memory? Like those that go through trauma and they block out certain things, they have a hard time remembering certain moments of their life because they've been through like so much trauma. That's why, but I'm saying though, if you purposely like concentrate enough and you think about that thing that hurts you, you know, that's what I was doing to like prove to myself that like I'm over it. Like you think about something and you're like, you can laugh about it and you're like, okay, yeah, I'm good. But I don't think we're supposed to be doing that for real.
Sometimes I do.
I don't think we are.
I think if you were really over it, but I guess it just defines like what for you lets you know that you're really over something. Like for me, and if I've had a trauma, for me, what you can't talk about, you haven't healed from. So I feel like if I can't voice what that situation was or what it did or how I felt in it or whatever the situation was, if I can't reflect and go back to it, I'm not healed
like,
from it.
I swear to you, I've heard that before, and I think that's what made me think like, okay, with the stuff I was doing, that's good. But what I'm saying is that if you already healed from it, just move on and let it go. Like we're not even worried about that. We're not even. It's gone. Like, come on, let's go.
You be bringing back the memories intentionally?
Yeah, but it was to prove to myself that I'm. Am I making?
That's
Do you get
the
what I'm
problem.
saying?
I get what you're saying. I get what you're
But
saying.
why would you want to relive something that you're
To
tired of?
prove to myself that I'm
that
over
you're
it.
healed.
But once you're over it, you let it go. You don't.
No, I get it
revisit
now.
Yeah.
I get it now. But I'm
But
saying,
then
Oh,
you
that's
were
what you
like,
used to do. And you was like,
yeah.
hold up. It's crazy.
Like it don't make no sense. Like, imagine like something happened to you, right? And you tell it, but you tell it in like a joking way, right? So you're replaying that moment, but you're doing it in like a lighthearted way
to make it seem
to
like
make it to prove to yourself and of course to other people like that happened, but like
it's fine. I'm
it's
done
fine.
with it.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I don't think we should be like. I don't think that should be a thing. You understand what I'm saying?
I hear
if
what
I'm
you're
making
saying.
sense. Yeah,
I don't think so either.
or even in
Not
like
intentionally.
even like a non-joking way, like how we talk right now. And if I'm like, man, one time last year, this situation happened to me, and it made me feel really bad. Like it was a really bad situation. This guy did this to me. I'm just like giving an example. But like, why would I bring that up right now though? Because like it hurt me, and I'm over it and I healed. So why am I talking about it?
But I also feel like that is just like a thing. I don't know like what generation started it. And this might be like a little random, but like that's what they do on TikTok. Like you know how people be like,
they
oh, story time, and then they say
do.
the most traumatic thing you've ever
Yeah.
heard
Yeah.
in a joking way. Like I feel like people see that and they're like, oh, like now I can talk about my trauma, even though it was really bad and I'm still dealing with it. Let me go and trauma dump on all these other people on TikTok in a lighthearted way. Like I feel like it's mostly the younger generation that do that, but like I feel like people see people do that and then they're like, this is how I can deal with my trauma by like, because this is what other people do. So let me do that.
That's real.
I'm not gonna lie that I'm not even
real.
against it.
That was a good example.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm not against it because it's like you're turning your pain into laughter, and when you try to think about the pain that you went through, it's just like you don't want to turn to something negative. You want to turn to something positive. So I mean, I get why people choose to like tell their story out there so people can like hear it or to make themselves feel good about themselves, whatever it is. So yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, I get that too. It's just, I don't know. Me personally, I just feel like you went through it, you healed, it's over. Unless you're talking to like a therapist or like a group of friends that you really trust that's going to help you work through it. I don't think you should be like saying it like.
And replaying it.
Yeah, replaying it, saying it repeatedly. Cause I think that's just going to like mess you up more. That's just my personal opinion though. I don't know. But okay, so real quick, right, before we close out. So how do you feel when people say you're so young, like you in your early 20s, like why are you really sad? Like be so for real. Like does that make you feel some type of way, or does that make you feel like, oh, maybe they're right. Maybe I shouldn't be sad.
No.
I mean, it be going both ways. Because I be like, you right. Like, I still have time to get my life together. And, like, the little boys or whatever that I'm sad about, like, that wasn't really nothing. But then also, kind of like how we was talking, like, before, like, just because I'm younger doesn't mean, like, my feelings aren't valid. Like, I'm allowed to be sad and go through stuff. And I feel like, I don't know. I was going to say I feel like our generation goes through a lot more than, like, the older generations. But they had to, like, you know, fight in war and stuff. Well, I mean, we do too. But, like, they had different issues. Like, we're dealing with, like, a bad economy and stuff. Like, stuff like that be making me sad because I'm like, nobody can buy a house, like, ever. And they don't understand that because they got their house for, like, $20,000 or something. So I feel like they don't really understand it's different. Like, yeah, we're young, but we deal with, like, old people problems.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and my back be hurting.
Same.
Always.
That's true.
My knees hurt.
I'm crying. Well, I would agree. I definitely think, I mean, sometimes I take it into offense when people say that because I feel like, just as you said, like, us being young doesn't mean that we don't have our own struggles or our own issues. It just, and I feel like when people say that, what they mean is that whatever it is, whatever issue you brought to them or whatever it is that y'all are talking about isn't a big deal to them.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, it shouldn't be a big deal to you. But it may be a big deal to me, and that is valid and that's fair. And I think you can't discredit somebody else's emotion because you don't think that that particular situation is important or is big enough for that reaction. I think that you just kind of have to hear and acknowledge what it is that they're feeling. You don't have to agree. You can still think like, that's not nothing. She knew, I went through this back in my day, but I still get to feel that, regardless of whether you agree with it or not. So,
Yeah,
honestly, I'm going to piggyback on what they both said because they're both right. Honestly, people do go through stuff. Like, people have different upbringings. Some people were born rich. Some people were born poor.
Mm-hmm.
Some people were born with, like, different type of things that goes on in their family or in their life that is like, you can't really dictate how they're going to feel once they reach that certain age. And plus, like I said, like she said, there's so much things going on in the world, like, with money and everything else and stuff like that. It's like people do get stressed when they're broke, I can't lie. No, it's sick. But yeah, like, you can't really tell someone how to validate their own feelings based off on what they're going through and their own struggles. The only thing you can really do is just pray for them, honestly.
Yeah.
and I think that you don't have to be, I feel like people always talk about, like, when you're going through something, like, you have to be, like, in the trenches with it. Like, oh, I got to be down and out. I got to have no heat, no, this in order to be struggling. And it's just because my struggle doesn't look like yours or doesn't look like that particular struggle does not mean that I'm not struggling.
Okay, let's talk about it.
No, let's talk about
People
it.
do that.
Because I don't like how people like to have, like, the struggle Olympics. Like, oh, you went through that, I went through this. No, it's
Yes.
bad. Like, y'all seen that thing on Twitter? It was the nurse that was crying.
I saw that.
Her and her husband have good jobs, but after you have to pay their bills,
they have like $200 left, and they like, girl, that's nothing.
oh, that's nothing. I have $25 left. No, that's bad. You should be protesting.
Right?
Like, why are you trying to one up my struggle? We're both
Exactly.
struggling. Like,
That's not okay.
And because you have $25 and she has $200, she's not struggling.
it's
Like,
both
what if for
bad.
her and her circumstances and her family, that's not doing well?
like y'all are in two different tax brackets. So her 200 is your 25. Y'all are
Right.
in the exact same position.
Exactly.
Like, it's not a competition of who got it the worst. We all struggling.
Abolish struggle Olympics and start protesting so we can get some real changes. But anyway, yeah, I feel like sometimes older people, when they do try to spit game, some of them do, like, try to, offer some sort of reassurance, or they try to gain an understanding of why, like, we're complaining and we're so young. I feel like that's just up to you to have, like, really good discernment to, like, really decide, like, who's actually trying to, like, see, like, okay, I want to know like more information. Those that is just trying to like play you and underdog you. But I don't think you should let anyone trivialize your struggle. Your struggle is your struggle, and it's
100%.
important. It matters. Okay, closing question. So internalizing our issues only leads to more issues. So when you're going through something, right, you got problems, do you typically speak your mind?
Sometimes it depends on the situation. Like if it's too personal for me, I usually just keep it to myself. But I also learned throughout the years that I have to open up, because when you keep everything to yourself, it eats you up bad. And when that shit eats you up, you start becoming a whole different person. You don't act right, you don't think right. So it's just good to at least just open up to someone, even if it's a therapist or a stranger, like just open up. But yeah.
I would say the same thing. I think I do open up. I think what I look for, like when I'm going through something, is like what my safe space is at that time. Like, so sometimes my safe space can be, oh, I'm going to talk to my friends, like my really close friends, because I know they'll hear me, they'll listen to me, and I can get like different perspectives. Or sometimes my safe space, sometimes it's not that, and I don't want to talk. Like sometimes my safe space is just, let me go journal and let me just kind of feel what it is that I'm feeling and voice it to me. And that works for me at the time. So I think depending on the situation, my safe space will be different. But when I'm going through something, I definitely look to where the safe space is going to be for me in that situation. And then, I'll move accordingly.
For me, I probably overcomplicate it, but like, because I'm an overthinker, so I be taking like a lot of factors into consideration. First, I be like, is this issue minor? Like, if I tell my friends, they're gonna be like, oh, like that's not a big deal, which they're not like those kind of friends. But like, again, I'm an overthinker. And then sometimes I'd be like, well, do my friends have the mental capacity to deal with what I'm going through right now? And then sometimes I'm like, well, if it's a minor issue, I'll probably tell them in like a joking way or like a funny way. And then if it's something serious, sometimes I just like pull back, and then they'll be like, what's up? You seem different. And then I'll tell them. I be taking a lot of stuff into consideration. It probably shouldn't be that complex.
It shouldn't.
But like, I be like caring about like where other people are at, because I don't want to like bother them. Or like if I've recently complained, I'm like, well, I don't want to complain again. Let me just keep this one to myself. I be thinking too much.
If they're your community, right, and they like really like you, I don't think it should be like an issue. I don't think you have to say it in like a joking way, like,
Are
going
you
through a
saying
lot
it in
right
a
now.
joking way because you feel like they don't have the capacity for that issue?
Yeah.
Well, no.
That's
also,
fair, though.
That is fair. Sometimes it be something little, and after like sometimes I really do be like, nah, you were tripping, like, and I know if you tell them like it'll be funny if you say it this way. And again, like they're good at like, receiving, like if I'm going through something, I just be thinking too much. I just be in my head and I'm like, I'm going to keep this to myself. Or like I'll tell them, but I'm not going to tell them all the details because, I just be overthinking. So sometimes I keep stuff to myself. Sometimes, I journal. It does depend on like how I'm feeling. Yeah, I'm just an overthinker.
Does everyone
so.
journal here?
No. I ain't gonna say.
You took too
I
long to
would-
think about it.
I didn't even get to the answer. I would say that sometimes I do voice memos just to just play it on and just say whatever that comes to my mind, and after that just stop it and then
That's it.
don't listen to it, literally, because that helps me just like
Get it
say
out.
everything I got to say, then get rid of it afterwards.
Do y'all talk to yourselves?
Yes.
There's no
Y'all-
shame in
y'all
that.
agree
There's no
with
shame
us.
in that.
I'm my own best friend,
You
guys.
just put me onto that voice memo. I'm finna try
That's a
that.
good one.
Yeah, maybe good.
I journal every day, but I since I already talked to myself, I might as well just make a voice memo anyway.
Right?
Yeah. Interesting. Well, guys, oh my God. Well, this was a really dope conversation. Well, first of all, seriously, thank y'all so much for just being really transparent and just really open and honest about, what y'all go through on y'all day-to-day lives. And, I just really want people to know that it's completely normal to not be okay, and it's completely normal to acknowledge the fact that sometimes life, do be lifing. But one thing that I hope that you really did take from this convo is that it's okay to, of course, be in your feelings, but don't ever sit in your feelings. Like, it's okay to, get help, acknowledge that you need help, and most importantly, know that healing is something that we're all going through. There's not one person on this earth that's 100% okay. So with that being said, right, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow these 3 individuals on all social media platforms starting with you, James.
JAKGOCZY.
XO _ 2 underscores Brooklyn with 2 N's.
__ JAZZZ ZZZ.
Yeah, we're gonna write it too, by the way. Just said the name.
90s.
But yeah, okay. And make sure you follow us at From the Block Podcast. So yeah, make sure you tap in, and okay, bye. Oh, that was a good one.